let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Alright, I do not know how this is going to go, but have to rip the band-aid off at some point. Hello everybody, this is Chris Knight Speaks, and Chris Knight Speaks is back with an episode I've been holding back for quite some time. For multiple reasons, outside stuff with one of them, and outside stuff one of them, and second being I don't know how this episode is going to go or get over. But you have to rip the band-aid off at some point. This is Chris Knight Speaks. I am your host of this podcast, if you will, the creator of the call you see before you, Chris Knight. And I don't know how many guests are going to be on here. I don't know how many people are going to pop in, but we will see. I know we have at least one person here watching. Good to see you, whoever you are. Good to see you. if it's somebody I know, here, a party is open. So it's not just one person here on the commentary booth or the conversation booth. But anywho, we're gonna sit here and talk about the wrestling business. Whether we have 1 or 100 people here, for good or for ill, we're going to be talking about the wrestling business. And modern wrestling. It may be easier to start off with the stuff I don't watch. With modern wrestling, I don't watch Impact or TNA wrestling. I mean, who does? I don't know a lot of people that do. I mean, you could be a part of Impact Wrestling and be a part of the Witness Protection Program at the same time. I don't watch Raw unless I have something that I'm doing also in the background. Something else, no matter what it is. I could be vacuuming and still have fucking Raw on. I can be preparing to take a nap and put Raw on. Honestly, helps my sleep. There's barely anything on SmackDown I really care about. No matter what the draft does, or what the draft has done or will do or whatever. I mean, so far they're gonna push the same people. especially in the women's division with Mr. Johnny Ace around. And for me currently, that's my biggest problem with the WWE is their heads of is the people that are running the joint. Johnny Ace, Kevin Dunn, Bruce Pritchard, Nick Khan. Because they're pretty much the only ones that Vince is listening to, and Vince actually has they're the only people that Vince actually talks to anymore. This isn't like the 1980s or 90s where people saw Vince all the time and were able to talk to him and say, "Man, Vince, this is the shits." And Vince would just say, "Well, okay, pal, what do you want to do instead?" It's not like that. It's just not a lot of wrestlers get to talk to him anymore, and there's quite frankly more evidence right now that Vince is less in charge than he ever has been. But there are good things. Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns are a delight. The Hurt Business should have never been broken up, but at least they're back together now. Barely. But at least they're back together. And yes, right now this is me by myself, so I'm going to be rambling, so... The only reason I have not been hyping up this episode is because I pretty much decided to do this on the sperm of the moment yesterday. Just saying, well, what the hell? Let's just peel this band-aid off and get this over with. NXT is pretty current NXT is pretty much Bruce Pritchard's wet dream. It is late 80s, early 90s WWF. It's pretty much what it is. Just with a little bit of Attitude Era sprinkled in. It's a weird hodgepodge, and it does not work. Like Mandy Rose is a modern day Sable just with some actual talent. May not be very much, but at least some talent compared to Sable. But other than that, that's a chore to fucking watch. At least anymore. Old NXT was fantastic, but now it's just shit. Probably the worst thing that ever happened to NXT was to go 2 hours. Honestly, I have a funny feeling that's probably what Fox wanted. I'm having a funny feeling Fox probably wanted when Fox wanted NXT, I'm probably guessing Fox wanted NXT as it was. An hour long show, and that's about it. And that's why they wanted to convince them not to take the wrestling program and take their SmackDown instead. Honestly, for me right now, it's perfectly clear that once Vince goes, the company gets sold. Honestly, right now, pretty much the WWE product, or at least the main roster shit, is not something that I really give a rat's at. It's not something that really intrigued me enough. I actually loved the MLW event that happened after Dark Side of the Ring. That from Philadelphia stuff. I know it didn't really showcase MLW well, and I still have to rewatch that main event, but I was liking it. But I was liking it better than both than both of the main big two right now. And we'll get to AEW soon, trust me. I'm actually recording Ring of Honor because Sling has Ring of Honor on this station called Stadium. A channel called Stadium on Sling. And I've so I actually have a few of Ring of Honor shows recorded, and I've seen a little bit of it, and it's quite good. I actually need to start watching more of it. This may be a very short episode, especially with no one around. This may be a very short episode. Because I really have nothing else to say about. I don't really watch WWE that much, besides watching it in the background, barely paying attention unless something really shitty comes on. Yow! Sup, my brother? Beetleborg's in the house. What is up, my man, my man? It has been a minute. How are you doing, my brother? You'll be surprised to know I've actually turned on AEW. Because of Daniel Bryan and Punk. And I've actually watched it. Perfectly understand. It's a lot. It's perfectly better without cable. It's funny. I know Beetle doesn't. I know nobody else is. I know nobody else is going to. I know no one else is going to know where this is. But Beetle, if you check one of the message boards with just you, me, and Brother Monk, I actually did put there some old school style reviews, from back from the Facebook days. The old reviews for when I watched the two AEW shows. Well, Punk was at first. Punk, pretty much because I said it. I said that Punk. I said that because I personally thought Punk would never show up. So I said to myself as a promise that if Punk ever showed up, I'd actually sit down and watch the show like I used to with the old Raw reviews, and do the show naturally. And watch and critique everything and make the jokes, and even if I'm doing it by myself, I would do it. So when Punk showed up, when I remember I was at a party with Monk, and I said, and Monk said, "Oh yes." Somebody said Punk showed up. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, damn. So I had to go confirm. Yeah, what's up, Tekken? So yeah, I had to go confirm, and Yeah, saw Punk on the show, on that Rampage, and I'm like, damn, I'm a man of my word. But funny enough, the thing that has actually kept me watching AEW is actually not the Punk shit. It was actually the Daniel Bryan shit. Oh yeah. I could understand that. I could see that. Especially with how NXT has been fucked over by fucking Bruce Pritchard now that Triple H now with Triple H having that heart attack or whatever, having those heart problems. So he's not doing shit with NXT right now. Oh, you can definitely tell Triple H don't have his hand on the pulse of NXT right now. You can definitely tell he's gone for right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's currently NXT is currently being run by Shawn Michaels and is currently being run by Shawn Michaels and whoever they have for creative, which I guarantee is Bruce Pritchard. I guarantee it's Bruce Pritchard. I can guarantee Vince said, "I do not want to deal with this shit, Bruce. You deal with it." I guarantee it's Bruce Pritchard that's running that's overseeing everything with NXT because the way NXT is run, it's being run like early 80s in late 80s, early 90s WWF. So that smells like Pritchard. Now hold on there, Tekken. Do note that I watched it when Punk showed up. Because I promised myself I would if I was proven wrong. And AEW did not impress me with the 2 episodes after Punk showed up. AEW impressed me with shows after that when Bryan showed up. Because after those episodes, I said if Bryan shows up or I hear something that's going to happen on AEW that I'm actually going to give a shit about, I'll turn it on. And then when Bryan showed up, that's when their show actually started to show good shit. There is still bad shit on AEW. There is still bad shit there. It's just it is mitigated by Punk and Bryan because Bryan is legitimately one of the best wrestlers in the fucking business, and he is saving this fucking and he saves nearly every fucking show. Oh, I can perfectly understand. By the way, I can perfectly understand turning it off after 5 minutes there, Beetle. NXT 2.0 is garbage. Absolute trash. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they showed up at the same time. Cole was pretty much almost a guarantee. Cole was a guarantee. Bryan was just like, okay, Bryan, if Bryan shows up, this is bad. Or Vince is fucking not on the ball anymore, and well, we knew that. We knew Vince was not on the ball anymore. The thing about AEW is that sometimes you get good shows, and then other times you get bad shows. Like they'll have some times where it's like the biggest criticism I can say about AEW is that it can be like TNA at times, where sometimes you'll get good shows and you'll be like, wow, this is really good. This is really high quality. This is really top. This is top notch. This is a wrestling version of the WWE. This is really cool. And then you get those bad episodes where it's just like, I have a life and I could be doing thousands of other things right now. I could be taking a shit. I could be, going on errands. I could be having a root canal without any Novocaine. I could be watching Raw. I could be doing plenty of other things that would be better. But the best part is I've actually dodged those shows because the best part about one of the best parts about AEW is that they preview what happened, preview the matches for the upcoming show or whatever. So I can pretty much pick and say, okay, do I actually give a shit about this card? No? Then okay, I'm not going to watch. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they give them way too much creativity. Way too much creative freedom. I remember a line from what Lance Storm said. Lance Storm said about ECW. In ECW, we broke every rule in the book. After that, we learned why there was rules in the first place. Yeah, you could break all those rules and have all the creative freedom you want, but there's reasons rules are in place. And sometimes the booking feels like we're booking. Feels like we're booking AEW. Which may sound great to some people, but we're not the professionals. We don't know how to get people over. People in the actual business do. And honestly, AEW needs to start listening to more people like a Jim Ross that actually know what the hell they're talking about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, certainly. They certainly are. And with the attitude that they have of not wanting to fire a lot of people, that is going to cause them a lot of problems in the future, because they'll have too many people they'll have too many fucking, because they'll start to have too many fucking shows and too large of a roster. Yeah, what's up, Mac? I don't believe that though. I don't like that line. I don't like that line. It's just a starting show. It's been around for the past couple years. If if AEW can't get their ass in gear and can't pull their head out of their ass and start putting on better shows and aren't improving after a couple years of them being here, and especially when they started playing the victim card because they chose Wednesdays when they knew NXT was on Wednesdays. And they chose Wednesdays back when NXT was on Wednesdays on the WWE Network, so they thought they were going to be able to get people to watch with and have them watch and have the people watch NXT later, not on the network, or have them watch it at the same time. They had no clue that they were going to take NXT and put on television, because that was kept hush hush. And even before AEW, there were rumors they were going to take NXT to TV. Oh yeah. And also Punk, one of the biggest names WWE had. They have three of the biggest names in wrestling today going: Bryan, Cole, and Punk. Honestly, if I was them, I would work with I would work with MLW. If I was them, I'd work with MLW. And I would also have Tony Khan take the Bucks and Omega to Ring of Honor and have them apologize privately to Ring of Honor for being asses, and work with Ring of Honor, and get people like Jacob Fatu, get people like the Briscoe brothers, and on their shows and stuff like that. Because if they start stacking people like that, like Hammerstone from MLW, and they don't straight up take the talent, and they do like the old school days where you would say, I want to use this guy for a couple weeks. We'll give you this guy in return. We'll give you some time with Bryan, and Bryan will go down there or whatever. There could be a lot of work they could do, and that would really help the wrestling business out more than it currently is. Because currently, right now, all they're doing is just showing that they're a big company, and they're able to help the limping and nearly dead TNA not be dead. Oh yeah, they have the AEW has the building blocks to succeed right now, but it's still to see whether or not they're going to stumble the ball and destroy the building that they've already built, or are they going to actually build a mansion and do it right? Because I mean, right now both big teams are fumbling the ball. WWE is fumbling the ball on purpose for some reason, and AEW can sometimes do it by complete accident. Like most feuds in AEW don't even last a month. They last a month, if that. A build, a couple episodes for the build, one match, done. Unless it's Cody shit. Then you have a couple matches with rarely any build, just random shit. True, but at the same time, that's why you're not. That's why you're supposed to That's why you're supposed to train your audience to accept the feuds, that are going longer. And if you do them properly, no one's going to give a shit. Taking us for example. If we would have done the American Phoenix Delvin McLeod feud poorly, most people that are watching would have said, why the fucking hell are these guys on the show? Get these two off camera. But because we were doing it properly, no one gave a shit that those two were wrestling damn near the entire year, just wrestling each other. Because people wanted to see the two kick their ass, kick each other's ass. Depending on who's the heel and who's the babyface. And honestly, right now they've spent too much time with AEW has spent too much time with Jericho. They have spent too much time. They have done way too many attacks after matches. They need to stop doing segments after matches and just let a lot of matches breathe, and just do segments after a commercial or something. Because heaven forbid, it's starting to become self-parody. Especially when AEW has a heel like MJF. MJF currently right now should be the champion, and should have been the champion since day one. Because he gets the heat, he has the ability, and he can make the talents look good. Way better than Jericho's old ass. Yo, what's up, mob? That could happen. That could happen. He's still young. I mean, they have enough baby faces now that could really get him going. But the problem is they would actually have to boost some of them up, or some of them actually would want. They would have to try to convince some of them to want to get pushed up. But the problem is with your formula is that's WWE's formula. That ain't AEW's formula. AEW's formula is main event matches go as long as the frickin' person wants, and all the other ones go fucking one match, because they do not do they don't do multiple matches. Yeah, problem with that statement. Yeah, you can have an attitude of, we only do one match. We don't do repeat matches. Yeah, you can have that opinion, but the problem is you're going to run out of fucking matches real quick. Unless you're constantly replenishing your roster. Unless you're constantly replenishing your roster, there's you're gonna run out of fucking matches real quick that people are gonna want to give a shit about. Especially when you don't push people. And that's W's problem, and that's AEW's problem too. But the difference is AEW's problem is that nobody on the roster wants to get pushed up, while WWE's problem is that they won't push anybody up. Sounds good. Oh yeah, not enough time. Yeah, certainly not anymore. If you have Sling, Beetle, if you have Sling, there is a channel on Sling called Stadium, and it has Ring of Honor shows. It has Ring of Honor shows. And Ring of Honor and for the ones that I've seen, Ring of Honor is pretty is not too bad right now. It's certainly a breath of fresh air from everything else. Oh, awesome! Yeah, Ring of Honor is on Stadium. And Ring of Honor is done it and for the stuff I've seen, Ring of Honor is not doing too bad. It's pretty good right now. Oh, awesome. I've seen ads for Pluto TV, and the ads make me not want to watch it because all the footage that they use are movies that are horrible, that I don't give a shit about. Oh fucking hell. Oh fucking Jiminy Christmas. It's probably a lot. It's probably a lot of the shows that WWE does not own the library to. That's the problem right now. Is that WWE owns a mass majority of the wrestling library. They legitimately do. They own a massive majority of the wrestling library. A lot of stuff that wrestling fans would thrive to want to see, either from a historical perspective or just wanting to watch something that they've never seen before. And even back in the W Network days, they never released any of it. Well, yeah, I have Peacock too, but I don't go on there looking for wrestling content. Besides watching the fucking pay-per-views. Because the problem is I don't know what Peacock has censored. I don't know what Peacock has censored. That's my main issue. I don't know what Peacock has censored. And that just makes me sad, because I used to like going on the W Network and watching other wrestling stuff. I was actually hoping that they were going to put out more OVW stuff on the network, or more Mid-South. But What can you do? Well, the censoring bothers me because I want to see things the way it was, not the way Peacock wants you to see whatever it is. I mean, if you watch a Raw from the Attitude Era, you'll probably see 14 14 minutes of the fucking episode or so. All the rest of it is fucking censored. And it's just like, if I wanted to watch a show from Monday Night Raw from the Attitude Era or WCW or whatever, I want to see the whole fucking thing. I don't want to see your censored version just because you want to protect the eyes of the children. Because I've said this since day one. That's what I think Peacock has been editing the W content for. They've been editing the content for not for the PC crowd, but for the children, because they think it's a children's show. Because like Edge pointed out, Peacock has on fucking shows has shows on like Vikings, and Vikings is a show that fucking has people being ripped in fucking half or cut up and shit with fucking axes, and they don't censor that. And once I heard that, that's pretty much where I got that opinion of. That's how that thought came to my mind, where it's like, oh shit, that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing it for W. They're editing it like it's a kids show, and they're cutting everything down like it's for kids. Which takes away a lot of shit from wrestling history. A lot more than you think. Because the point for a heel was to be MJF. Every heel was MJF. They said things about they said things about people's families. They said anything to get a rise out of the heel. The heel said anything to get a rise out of the babyface. The point was to piss people off. And the problem is that's what they would censor. Is to censor the bad guys being the bad guys. Sorry, I don't give a shit that that the Freebirds had the rebel flag. This was the 70s. It was the 70s. It was the 70s and 80s. It was the 70s, the 60s, and the rebel flag had a different meaning at that point. The rebel flag didn't have a meaning didn't have the meaning of Confederacy and anti-black or whatever. It had a meaning of being a rebel. It was on the fucking General Lee, for goodness sake. That was a Southern thing. The Southern thing was the rebel flag, because it was a rebellious symbol. Like it or not, that was the 70s and 60s. And if places like Disney can release episodes like Donald Duck hailing Hitler with the context beforehand, stating why this exists and what its point is, why in all of it in an historical context of why it exists before people go in and watch it. If Disney, the biggest company in the fucking world, can do that, then places like Peacock have no fucking excuse. I've said that since day one, and I will stand by that statement till the day I die. Now, if you want to censor bad shit from wrestling history, like if you want to censor Mae Young giving birth to a hand, great. If you want to censor the part of history where Vince McMahon said the N-word to Shelton Benjamin, that's fantastic. Do that. Censor it. If you want to censor Vince McMahon and Shane going to a fucking church and Vince spitting holy water like he's Triple H, fantastic. Censor it. Oh yeah. And the funny thing is, if you hear how Nick Khan talks, he quietly, in a business mindset, legitimately says, "I'm selling the company after Vince dies." He doesn't outright say it, but he does say it from a business standpoint, because he says the kiss ass line of, "Oh yeah, Vince is in his 70s is in his 70s to 80s and he'll live another 30 years because he's so in shape." Vince is going on 80. I don't think he's going to be living to be 110. If he does, by the heavens above, he better not be still running this fucking company. But oh yeah, if Disney takes it, WWE would be in good hands. In a way, I do. Because I guarantee, because it's been said that Vince only put Nick Khan in the position that he's in because Vince on a wrestling business basis asked that when he sells the company that his family is figured in. Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H are figured in after he dies. Problem with that? You're not dealing with wrestling folk. You're dealing with business folk. And after Vince dies, Nick Khan is not going to give two flying fucks what Vince wanted. And he's just going to sell the company just for his own profit. I mean, Nick Khan has openly said if he had an opportunity, and I'm not lying, if he had an opportunity just for the money, he does not give a shit about the ratings, just for the money that he would get out of it, he would have Raw be 4 hours long and have SmackDown be 3. And by the way he worded it, it may have sounded like a joke, but that legitimately is not. I don't think that was a joke. Yeah, he could. If Vince does it right, he could. But the problem is Vince in his right state of mind at this point in time in his life that he'd be able to legally do it. I'm not putting it past him. I'm just doubting if he has the ability to. I guarantee Bruce is not going to help him because Bruce is a lying sack of shit, and he'll figure that, and Vince will sadly figure that one out. We'll figure that one out from beyond the grave. I mean, Vince don't have Pat Patterson and Jim Ross anymore. He don't have people that are going to sit there and tell him what's what. All he's listening to is Bruce, Nick Khan, Kevin Dunn, and Johnny Ace. That's why I'm afraid for Gable Stevenson or whatever his name is, the gold medalist, because Kurt Angle even said the people that worked with him the most was Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon. I don't think Vince McMahon alone is going to be able to get this this gold medalist over. And if you have Bruce Pritchard around, the person that defends the gobbledygooker and the Red Rooster, heaven forbid. Heaven to frickin' Betsy. I don't see him going far unless he goes over to AEW. And this Gable Stevenson or whatever sounds like he could be a WWE lifer. He could be the next Roman Reigns for the WWE lifer crowd of guys. So he may have a very screwed up career going forward. Is there anything else at this point to talk about? I mean, I've been going an hour, just rambling. On my own. My good brother Beetle has at least extended this from 20 minutes to an hour, and that's at least good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it should. You're good. You're good. You're good. I know. Samurai said he was going to do a promo response, but I haven't seen the promo response yet, so I have to get back up with him and see if he's going to do it. Damn. I more than likely have not been working as hard as you, but same here, man. like 6 days a week. I was normally off, I've normally been off on Mondays, but I've lost my Mondays. I've lost my Mondays, and I'm actually working Mondays now. I only have 2 days. I only have 2 days of work now. I have 2 days. I have 2 days off. Saturdays and Sundays. But but so far it's kind of seeming like I may be getting Wednesday off. But that may change. If it doesn't, I'm actually planning on recording the Starcade card. I'm actually planning on recording most of the Starcade matches. Yep. Yeah, the matches that are going to give me the most trouble with editing. I'm not gonna say one of them because one of them is a match for the is a match in the main event with Phoenix and Delvin. Because I know you haven't gotten there yet, but I'll but that'll be that. And the other one is another match that was a not that you'll find out later once you start catching up. You'll find out soon. You'll find out at the Road to Starcade show. Oh yeah, there's two matches that I'm gonna be doing some editing with, and I'm gonna be doing some edited match stuff. So, and one of them may be my hardest to date because just for some behind the scenes shit, I I came up with this match to do way before I remembered what the hell the actual rules of the match are. So now I'm going to be doing a matchup that may be my hardest edited match to date coming up at Starcade. So that'll most like so it's going to be a good if I have my Wednesday off, that's going to be a good thing because then I can get all the rest of the shit done. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Cause that means the 2 weeks that I'm going to get after Journey to Starcade, I'm going to spend all that time just on those two matches for Starcade, those two Pacific matches. That's going to be the majority of my time is getting those two done. Is getting those two matches edited. Starcade is the week of Thanksgiving. I placed it on that. I placed it on those on that Saturday and Sunday for a reason. Because that's when the actual Starcade would be, which would be around Thanksgiving. But I also but I'm also hoping that I get the Thanksgiving week off. And I really do hope that I'm actually going to keep my Thanksgiving week off, or that I'm going to have a Thanksgiving week off, like I normally do. Because if I don't, because I think Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday this year or something like that. If if I don't, then I'm fucked. Because that means I'm gonna be doing shit on the weekends that I'm gonna be doing the shows. So And the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to delay Starcade, because if I'm delaying Starcade, I'm going into the 1 month. It'll be going into the 1 month. It'll be going into the 1 month that. It'll be going into the 1 month that that I have my rest, which is December. Yeah, what's up, brother Monk? How you doing, my brother? Welcome to Chris Knight Speaks. Alright, cool, man. Brother Monk, I need to get you in this booth. I need to get you in this booth doing with a Chris Knight Speaks, doing a fucking interview. That's what we need to do. I need to get you in here for a fucking interview on a Chris Knight Speaks. I want you to be my first interview on Chris Knight Speaks. It may be a hard task to do, but I'm gonna get you in this booth. I'm gonna get you in this booth at some point, and we're gonna do a Chris Knight Speaks. And we're gonna just sit here and fucking shoot the shit. Well, they can. Well, whoever they are, they can keep their cones in the sky. I'm getting you in this fucking booth at some point. My brother. And we're gonna have a fucking fun time. Hey, maybe we'll be able to drag Beetle in here too. Maybe we'll be able to drag Beetle in here and have a 3-man team. And have a 3-man team of just shooting the shit. Nice. I have not touched Avengers in like fucking a couple months. At least a month. I have not touched Avengers in like a month. After yesterday, I'm actually getting that way about I'm actually getting that way about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Oh, awesome, Beetle. That'd be great. Oh yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm skipping the Guardians of the Galaxy game, because the Guardians of the Galaxy game looked fun, and then I saw the people that were making it, which was Square Enix, the same people that made that made Avengers. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna skip it. I'll wait for Spider-Man and Wolverine. Avengers wasn't bad. It just didn't live up to it just hasn't lived up to the expectations. It just hasn't lived up to the expectations, and quite frankly, so far it's becoming a massive data hog, and I'm getting close to getting rid of it. Perfectly understandable there, Beetle. Oh yeah, but you know me, my brother. You know me. You know me. I only ride with my crew. I only ride with my crew. I ride with Marvel's finest, or I ride with Marvel's finest, or nobody else, or I ride with Marvel's finest, or nobody. Oh, awesome, Beetle. I'm actually really looking forward to the Spider-Man because if Spider-Man comes out and is co-op whichever one of you is free, we're fucking doing a co-op stream of that fucking shit. Oh, awesome, Beetle. You're you're pushing over 100%, and I'm barely able to fucking do a push up. No, not Guardians. Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 comes out. Spider-Man 2 comes out 2020 2023. Spider-Man 2 comes out 2023. And by the trailer, it shows both Peter and Miles. So I'm hoping it's co-op. Because if it is, because if it is, because if it's co-op, I don't care if it's me and Monk or if it's me and if it's me and you, Beetle. There's gonna be a co-op stream of this shit. You would make a great Spider-Man. Perfectly understandable. Perfectly understandable. Thank you. I Hulk smash in the name of Beetle Better. Of course you do. Of course you know the way. The real life Beetle Banner. Yeah, pretty much. Hell, I think Monk platinumed Avengers before any of us did. I know it was Monk that helped me out to platinum it. Amen to that. Hell, brother Monk platinum Spider-Man before anybody else did. Hell, I was surprised that he didn't that he hasn't played or platinumed Miles Morales yet. He was gonna. I thought he was gonna do that. Hell yeah. Hell, at this point, some days I'm lucky to get a walk in, let alone full workouts. It's called. I was actually walking a lot in a lot during the day, and now I'm not. And I was actually enjoying my walks too. Hell, I'm happy when I actually get the walks in. When I'm actually able to get a walk in, I'm like, oh, thank heavens. Oh yeah, and with walks I'll turn on fucking Spotify. And I'll just listen to shit on the walks. On the walks. Not that I know of. I haven't been paying attention either. I haven't paid attention to that either, and honestly, I don't give a shit about the AEW game. Until the damn game comes out and it shows to not be a TNA Impact the video game 2.0. Because everyone was really excited when the TNA Impact game came out. You know, the small amount of people that TNA Impact had as fans were happy that the game came out, and then the game came out and the game sucked. So I'd rather wait for the not WWE games game to come out first before I get any excitement or anything on that game. Oh, heaven forbid, yeah. And coming up with one of the most problematic characters of all time that Vince Russo decided to make come to real life out of the game itself, the character Suicide. Yeah, that was a brilliant concept. Yes, it did. It sucked very bad. Honestly, it's tied between what's worse, that TNA Impact the game or fucking WCW Nitro on the PlayStation. And that's the funny part. The graphics are what they said were at the time. Midway said that was what they were working on the hardest, was the graphics. Oh yeah. Nitro had Spider-Man, a bear. It had fucking promos from all the wrestlers. Some of them were fucking hilarious. Kevin Nash's was fucking funny. Oh yeah, those they were great. Nash's was hilarious. Pick me. Come on, pick me. Come on. Freaking Eddie Guerrero had technically the same promo, but he did it both in Spanish and in English. Oh yeah, Conan's. Oh my. Then you have X-Pac with all the fury in the fucking world. I'm gonna slap on the buzz killer and rip your shoulder right out of its socket, Wolfpack style. It's like calm down there, X-Pac. Come on, calm down there, man. Oh yeah, his is in X6's was intense. Cause he had all the fury in the world. He was cutting a promo like he was about to get ready, like he was actually cutting a promo for the ring. Kevin Nash was cutting a promo like he was on fucking drugs that day, and he was like, I don't give a shit. I'm doing a promo for a fucking video game. Sixes was like, I'm gonna be as intense as possible. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get myself over in this video game with this promo. Oh, it was great. Even as a kid, I was like, Six a little intense now, are you? You're cutting a promo for a video game. Oh my. Hogan's was just, Hogan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Hogan's was just Hogan. There's no he just didn't have the intensity. He didn't have the intensity as as he would for a normal promo. Oh yeah, Hogan's was fucking boring because he didn't know what the fuck to say. Beetle, after the stream, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a fucking clip of Cornette hearing all of Hogan's vast lies. You will get a kick out of Hogan's vast lies that he has told over the years. Oh yeah. By that time that I had WCW Nitro, the only thing I was liking about WCW was the Wolfpack. Was was Nash was Nash, Conan, Sting, Luger, and Macho. And reliving that time period, I actually forgot how short that time period was that they were together as the Wolfpack. Oh hell yeah! There was another game called WWF Attitude. WWF Warzone and WWF Attitude. Both both fun games. It was one of the first. I believe it was Attitude that I had, and somebody else had Warzone. Um, It was one of the first games that I actually started making people in. Yeah, I saw. I was trying to remember if that was the name of it. Attitude. I completely forgot you could create an arena in Attitude. I remember the create a pay-per-view system from SmackDown 2. From the original SmackDown 2. And SmackDown 2 would rate all the matches. So you would book the card, all the match. So you would so there would be a system where it would show ups and downs of how the crowd reacted to your match, to the matches on the card. And it was quite an interesting system, and I would like to see it come back. Oh, it was in Attitude first? I never did it in Attitude. I only remember doing it in SmackDown 2. Know your role. Yeah, what's up, Samurai? My brother Samurai, you have completely missed the wrestling topic, and now we are into talking about random bullshit. We are right now talking about WWF Attitude on the PlayStation 1. Because I am in the booth alone. I am in the booth alone. Ah, you're good. I am in the booth alone. So the wrestling topic was short-lived. But with Beetle here, he certainly advanced the stream from what was going to be probably like 25 minutes long to going close to 2 hours. So that's good. Samurai has joined me in the booth.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Let's see. I said to fuck my mic for a second because apparently a bit weird vocal wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just random bullshit.
Pretty much random bullshit.
Yes, it's open. If I got on here, the booth's open.
Yes, the booth is open. It's in
It's in the
booth is open. The booth is bed open, my brother. The booth is bed open. It's in locker room.
Get in here, Beetle.
The booth is bed open. That's why I'm talking about random bullshit. That's why I was sitting here. That's why I was sitting here for the wrestling topic. I wasn't gonna sit here with the wrestling topic and not have a booth open.
I love how just like the rest of us just jumped. Like I just jumped in here, just like. He's like, okay, check out what PS4.
Oh my. The amazement of live television, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my.
It's been a while since all three of us have been in a booth, so.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, you haven't been on PlayStation for a while, so you're gonna have to be going through an update.
Oof.
Oh, I know. I know you'll be in a bit. Oh yeah, SmackDown had the best. To go back to that point, the SmackDown games did have the best Hell in a Cell. I like the way they fucked with it, fucked with it now, but there was just something about the old school Cell matches that just in the games that just there was something about it that was just better in some ways.
I don't know what I don't know how to feel about that because I didn't play any of the older games.
Oh
I only
yeah,
got into it around
one
I got into it around 2K17, even though I accidentally
yeah
bought 2K15 first.
yeah with SmackDown versus Raw 2006 during the loading screen for the matches, if it was a cage match or whatever, the cage would lower.
Hmm.
The cage would lower during the loading screen. So you would see the cage lower, and the cage would be on the ring, and it would circle and the camera would circle the ring and see that the cage is down. They would do it for normal cage matches and as well as Hell in a Cell. Oh yeah, cell breaks were fucking awesome. Especially back in the day, because you didn't have that, because in some case you still had that fall break scene where the guy hangs, but if the cell is completely broken, you could fucking throw people down there. So if you had like a power bomb as your finisher, you could just fucking power bomb people right into the fucking hole, and they would go down, and you could put like tables there or a steel step, and they would fall fucking on it.
We all wish we could get that back.
Oh hell yeah, that stuff was fun. And then you would accidentally fall. You would fall your ass right through this fucking cell. If you didn't see where you were going, you could just walk yourself right into the hole and fall like fucking Wile E. Coyote. Zoop. Oh yeah, the original SmackDown games were fucking nuts. The entrances in the game were low res, but some of them were fucking weird. There was like an entrance where the person was in a shopping cart.
Oh, I've seen like the gameplay. It's like Here Comes the Pain or whatever it was. Like basically just like carting people around, or even like you just grab a motorcycle and just ride by, grab someone.
But this was SmackDown. But this was SmackDown, I believe, 1 or 2. It may have been both. No, SmackDown 2. SmackDown 2. The entrances, you wouldn't see the Titantron. It would be like a smoky white fucking thing, or you would see all you would see is the background like Titantron. So it's like a big screen, and one of the entrances. This is just an entrance. The person is in a fucking shopping cart, and he's coming down to the ring in a shopping cart.
Talking about.
Yeah, and he's just waving to the fucking crowd.
There's another where he's so scary, like. Ah!
And then there's one where he's slight. Then there's the other one where he crashes. There's one where he's just waving, and everything's fine, and then there's one where where something goes wrong and he crashes, burns his fucking ass on the ground and falls.
Like ow.
Mm-hmm. Then there's one I swear they had to have talked to fucking Paul Bearer. before doing this, because they had the Undertaker bike one, the Undertaker bike entrance, but they had a passenger seat for a tag team entrance. So the person was in the fucking little sidecar like Colonel Clampett, little fatty Arbuncle in the sidecar of the fucking motorcycle. I remember there was one entrance that was straight Spider-Man. The person would slide down on like a spider web, and he would like jump and go right into the fucking middle of the ring, if I remember correctly.
Unfortunately, we can't do all that crazy shit anymore.
Oh yeah, some of the entrances were fucking nuts in those games, in the old ones. Then they started getting more simulated, and we lost all those fucking entrances. Until we got fucking somebody like Paul Burchill, which I still wish we had that fucking entrance in the game.
I'm guessing you could think of something else that you could use for that.
Oh hell yeah! I would have used that one for Cheryl Shipwreck. Because Paul Burchill came out like a pirate. Because apparently no one told Vince at that point that Pirates of the Caribbean was a thing. Yeah, what's up, brother Beetle?
What's up, Beetle?
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Yes, that.
Oh man.
Yeah, with Paul
how's
Burchill.
that going, by the way?
Yeah, so the entrance for SmackDown vs. Raw 07 was him pulling out a fucking pirate sword and swinging on a rope.
Yep.
If that was still in the game, I'd use that for Cheryl Shipwreck. That was one of the things I thought of for Cheryl Shipwreck. I'm like, I wish I fucking still had that. I wish we still had that one. I would have used it like a fucking motherfucker.
Yo ho, the pirate's life for me.
Uh-huh.
Well, set to always allow. I was making sure that my voice was set to share so everybody could hear me. I don't want to be Casper the Ghost in here. Yeah, it's been a long time. I can't remember how I had everything set up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Yeah.
At this point, we're all just talking about like random bullshit, just seeing what we can do.
Yeah. But those cell matches, though, in SmackDown 1 and 2, I remember being a kid and just sitting there playing those games and just destroying shit for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, I think you destroy like nearly all the fucking cell walls.
Yeah, you could destroy every cell wall. You could completely implode the cell, pretty much. You could destroy the entire cell. That's how fun those games were.
Mm-hmm.
You take out every single wall, and then just the cell was gone. I remember I'd play as The Rock all the time. I was a little kid, though, so I mean,
Well,
you're gonna pick the biggest star. You're either gonna play as Rock or Austin. Tell
Yeah,
me
pretty much.
if you're not a little kid playing these games, right? If you're a little kid and you're playing those games back in the day, back in the 90s or early 2000s, you're gonna pick The Rock. You're gonna pick Austin. You're gonna pick Triple H. You're either gonna be the best bad guy, which is Triple H, or you're gonna be one of the best top good guys, which is Austin and Rock.
Yeah.
I think those three were probably the most.
Sometimes I went with Ken Shamrock.
That, or I would say the Hardys and Edge and Christian.
Yeah,
The Hardys and Edge and
I can see
Christian.
that.
Because the tag team division back then, those guys were the guys, and I remember idolizing them as a kid.
Yeah, I remember with SmackDown. Here comes WWF. No Mercy on the N64. Seeing in the marketplace for wrestlers you could buy. You could buy the Godfather's hoe.
Yep.
And wrestle as Godfather's hoe, or At the top, Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
If I didn't have that one of the fucking cartridges that had the fucking glitch.
Oh, no,
That
you had
reset?
one of those.
That reset? Oh man! I wanted Sean so badly. I wanted to play as Sean so badly in that game.
See, I was lucky, and I had I wasn't in those games. I had the PlayStation, so I had a disc. I didn't have the cartridge. I just had I had a memory stick. So I got lucky there.
I'm not gonna lie though, I don't necessarily enjoy how memory sticks. I enjoy what we got now, where the memory's built into our systems, and we don't have to,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like trying to find
things certainly have evolved and changed and gotten better in some cases. Yeah, what's up, Beetle? I mean, sup, Feet?
Hey, what's up, Pete? It's been a while. I'm actually gonna type. My voice hasn't been on the air in a while.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I wish they would bring back the promos from the WCW game days
Yeah.
and put them in the more modern games. That would be fucking hilarious.
Those Nitro promos were fucking great. But
Nash's was the best.
As far as the actual topic goes, the state of the wrestling business.
Let's go back, considering.
I'm gonna throw a quick disclaimer on there for everybody right here, right now. I haven't been watching wrestling for probably about 3 months because I canceled my cable about a month ago. So I don't have access to AEW and I don't have access to WWE.
You may be better off.
I do have access to 2 indie shows. One is an ECW wannabe that's based in California called PCW. And the other is old reruns of the original Glow. Which if anybody knows the shows that I do, I have a show called Octane and I have a show called Glow.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of laughed at that when I went, I have actual access to the original. But I laugh when I watch it because it's fun. And I get access to Impact because I'm watching everything on Pluto. Anyway.
Nice.
Impact. You could be in the witness protection program and still be on Impact.
Yeah, that's true. Current state of the wrestling industry, though. I will say that, in my opinion, I think that AEW has something, but they just need to capitalize on it. They have Daniel Bryan, they have CM Punk, and Adam Cole. Yeah, they need to put the pieces together. They have those 3, and then they have this one heel guy who is absolutely amazing, named MJF, who they haven't pushed to the moon yet. Why they haven't pushed him to the moon yet?
Yeah, and they have the best tag. They have the best tag team in the world. They have the best tag team in the world. They have the Revival.
The Lucha Bros. Oh,
they have the Revival, the best tag team, the best tag team in the business, and they're not using them as much.
I do want to say
haven't
been.
I did now they're starting to at least.
I will say this real quick, as I did notice this. With FTR, they actually managed to snag the AAA tag titles. I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna say best tag team in the world though is the Lucha Bros. Cero Miedo.
I will do that one.
Cero Miedo every day.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, their match with the Young Bucks. Love the Young Bucks or hate them. That was insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't see the match. Not really. I haven't really seen much of the Lucha Bros.
The Lucha Bros are
freaking great.
Probably my favorite tag team in all of wrestling right now. Just Pentagon by himself.
Yeah, personally for me, they're not my cup of tea.
Ray has his moments, but Pentagon.
Yeah.
Pentagon
I remember Ray
is
Phoenix. I remember Ray Phoenix and Pentagon from Underground, from Lucha Underground.
mm-hmm. That's where I was introduced to them as
They
well.
were okay on Lucha Underground, and honestly, as a tag team,
I thought Pentagon was amazing.
when I first heard of them as a tag team, the Lucha Bros, I was just like, oh, so are they trying to do the Lucha Dragons, Lucha Dragons, but outside of the Evil Empire?
No, they're completely.
That was the
different
first time
from-
That's the first thought I had, because I actually because in the original NXT when the Lucha Dragons were around, I actually really liked them as a team.
Oh,
The original
Lucha
Sin Cara
Bros.
and Kalisto.
Yeah, but
Not the original
Lucha
Sin Cara,
Bros-
but the Hunico Sin Cara.
Yeah, but the Lucha Bros are totally different from that, and that's what I kind of like about their character. That's what I like about them. And Pentagon himself, I think he could be a great single star. He has the potential to be a world champion.
I mean, they have the
world
manager
champion
translator that could make him a great
singles.
heel, but
He
they
would
haven't
be
used
amazing.
they haven't used much with it.
Right, but he would be amazing as a heel, and he would be amazing as a world champion. The same goes with MJF. AEW has some amazing heels right now that they could have.
Yes, and they
ruling
have
the
they have
company.
amazing baby faces. They have
They
fucking
do.
Brian Pillman
They have
Jr.
Well,
Brian
they have-
Pillman Jr. got fucking massively over due to the Dark Side of the Ring episode, and they didn't fucking gosh dang do anything with it.
Right, and then they also
Well, they did.
Later,
They also
long
had-
after the episode happened.
but they also have CM Punk. They have Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And had they done his debut correctly, I was salty about this. I will say this. I was shocked at it. But had they done it correctly, they would have had Adam Cole as a babyface going against their big heel faction.
Unfortunately, they stuck him with the heels. At the same time, though, I get
Yeah.
why they did it, though.
I see why they
There's
did
no
it.
offense.
but
There's no offense to you, but I think
They-
Adam Cole is better as a heel.
Adam Cole is better as a
he
heel,
is.
but
In
No,
the
go ahead.
moment, though, he would have been better as a face. He would have been better as that baby face that comes in and saves the day, and that after he saves the day, fucks everybody over and just says, "I'm a heel and I'm siding with these guys. I'm just their new champion. It's not Omega anymore. It's me." Him versus Omega would have been a good match.
I just don't know the fact that-
Adam Cole is by far the better worker and the better mic worker than fucking Omega.
I agree.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting and I'm hoping that they run a storyline where Adam Cole basically usurps him as the leader of the elite.
That'd be great. Because I can't.
I'm
see-
sorry.
I don't think
you
they're gonna do
cannot
that.
put Kenny Omega. You
I
can't
can't
put Kenny
stand-
Omega and Adam Cole in the same faction and expect them to work where one of them is under the other.
Okay, all right,
That's
so-
that's what they're thinking of doing.
So I had a friend over. Who doesn't really follow wrestling as much, right? To watch the AEW pay-per-view because he's a huge CM Punk guy. All right? He loves CM Punk. So he comes over, we watch the main event, and he goes, "Why do they have a homeless guy dressed up like someone normal as their champion?" Yeah,
followed around
That was-
followed
that was his
around by Don
description of it.
Callis, who was accused of multiple sexual assault allegations in Impact Wrestling,
yeah.
which is why
do they
he's
have
gone
a-
from Impact Wrestling.
Why do they have a homeless guy with a life insurance salesman as his representative coming out to the ring?
That looks like a living bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Now-
the best description of that
now-
ever.
Now he likes the color pink, so he was okay with Callis. But I mean, he looked at Omega and just went, "Who the hell is this guy? He looks like he's cracked out of his mind."
He probably is
Why
cracked
is
out.
he-
He probably is cracked out.
I agree, but he was going, "Why the hell is he the world champion?" And I'm, oh shit, this is
Because
a guy who
because a bunch of people on the internet think he's the greatest thing known to man because Dave Meltzer said so.
Yeah, but I mean, here's a guy who doesn't watch wrestling at
Oh,
all.
I know.
He comes in, he watches it for 5 minutes, and he goes, What is this? What is
Uh-huh.
this bullshit?"
Which by the way, people that are watching, this is what me and many other people that have been critical of AEW have been saying for quite some time. That's the actual audience that you want to get in, which is the common everyday audience that are not watching this shit. And that's what they think about your world champion.
Yeah, they think your world champion is a joke. Oh, and then on top of all of this, right? We see their women's battle royal, right?
Fucking hell.
And oh no, it gets better. Nyla Rose comes out, and I have to explain what Nyla Rose is.
Oh,
And he went,
fuck.
what the F? Why is she in their women's division? So I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
come on. But they are doing certain things right. Like, he really liked the Punk versus Darby Allin match.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
they are
yeah.
doing things right. I'll definitely say that. I said that in the reviews. I've said that while watching. They do some things right. But
And
a lot of
he
times
liked-
they take one step forward and then three steps
two
fucking
steps
back.
Yeah. But I will say though, if I am comparing All Out to SummerSlam, if I had a choice and I was told I had to watch one of the two pay-per-views again, I would watch All Out over SummerSlam any day. I would watch. I would watch All Out over the NXT pay-per-view that came on before SummerSlam.
That may be you, but I actually disagree with that. I would take that takeover over both SummerSlam and All Out.
And I would respect that opinion, because that is probably the last takeover that is actually going to be good.
Oh hell yeah, because fucking Walter Elia 2 and all the other fucking matches on that damn card.
Yeah.
Joe in the main event winning the championship. Joe after that, I'm guaranteeing it wasn't a fucking injury. It was just Bruce.
Okay.
It was just Bruce Pritchard saying, "Nope, you're out as champion."
All right, takeover over AEW. I could see, and I understand. As far as the importance of Punk being part of AEW,
that is
joining
huge.
for the pay-per-view, that is the only reason I would put AEW's
I can see that
over NXT. That is the only reason I would do that.
I'm not gonna lie
Other
to you
than
though.
that, the NXT card was solid.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. With AEW, like the whole thing with them bringing in CM Punk, it was probably the wisest move for Punk to do that, to go to AEW instead of going back to the WWE like everyone really wanted him to do.
He wouldn't.
Well,
The thing is he never would have went back.
I don't.
Punk has openly said he would never go back.
Yeah,
I think the only reason he even went back at all was for. I think the only thing he went back for was.
He technically never went back. He worked for Fox. He never worked for Vince. He worked for Fox.
Exactly.
And then when backstage got shut down, he was like, peace out.
Yep.
But
He
I'm
pretty much said when my contract with Fox is over. Peace out, guys.
I'm glad
See
he
ya.
chose AEW, and then I'm glad that on the same night of his actual in-ring debut, I'm actually gonna. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm glad that Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan jumped ship. I was shocked. I was watching the pay-per-view live. Okay, I'm watching the pay-per-view live, and at the very
So was
end,
I.
you see Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole walk out. Well, first Adam Cole. When Adam Cole walked out, I went, "Wait, what the hell?" I had a legitimate reaction to this.
I was like, wait,
What?
how?
Adam Cole.
I'd heard about the fact that Punk. I'd heard about the fact that Cole has his contract expired. I was like, But this soon, he jumps.
I thought,
because he has the NXT contracts. The NXT contracts, just like Aleister Black, they only last 30 days. They don't last they don't last the full 60.
But I could have sworn that Adam Cole would have gone to Raw or SmackDown. I thought he was WWE.
The reason he did it was because creative. Because they wanted him to manage Keith Lee, and they wanted to take away the Adam Cole name because the creative thought that the fans would be confused between him and Michael Cole.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's a facepalm moment. Like, what the fuck?
I was in shock. All right, as a wrestling fan watching it, when Adam Cole walked out on an AEW pay-per-view, when Adam Cole walked out at the end, I was shocked. Punk wasn't a surprise. Punk I knew was going to be there. Punk was like the reason that I bought the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Punk. Punk had already debuted.
Cole.
Punk had already debuted, so that so everyone knew he was going to be there.
But Adam Cole
that's why I said beforehand. I'll actually watch the first AEW show after Punk debuts, because at that point I was like, there is no way in fucking hell will freeze over before Punk shows up and wrestles again. And once I heard Punk was there, Punk debuted on Rampage. I'm like, fuck.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie, though.
It makes sense.
There was that part of me that was. There was that part of me also that didn't think that Punk was actually going to show up to Rampage that one day. That the first dance, I was like, there is no way in hell he's showing up.
Yeah, neither did I. That's why I made a promise to That's why I made that promise to myself that if Punk actually shows up, I'll actually watch an episode. I'll actually watch an episode, and to keep myself from falling asleep, I'll fucking review. I'll fucking do the old school Facebook shit and review the damn thing.
Well, and I have to say, with Punk leaving, or with Punk showing up. Sorry, I'm going through like 4 months worth of shit right now. Anyway, with Punk, yeah, laugh all you want. With Punk, with Punk, showing up, that was enough to get me in the door.
I'm laughing at you. I'll have to go through more shit when I get back to the fucking CW verse. Trust me. I'll have to go through far more months of fucking shit.
Punk showing up was enough to get me in the door. Adam Cole showing up was one of those like holy shit moments, and then Adam Cole deciding to be a heel instead of facing Omega kind of left me a little salty.
But and then you had Bryan Danielson's music hit.
Oh no, hang on, let me finish. Okay. All right. So Adam Cole does that, right? And I'm a little salty, and I'm just like, what the fuck are they thinking? Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega would be amazing. And then all of a sudden you hear Daniel Bryan's music hit. Or Bryan Danielson. He's no longer Daniel Bryan. Sorry, guys. He's back to himself. He's back to his real name, Bryan Danielson.
He's been using his real name for years.
Danielson's music hit.
He's been using his real name for years.
I know.
One of the things I will give AEW, they wanted to actually get his legitimate theme song. They wanted to actually get Final Countdown by Europe.
I agree, and when it played, I went, what? I lost my mind.
It was that moment of
when he walked out, I lost my mind. I went from this pay-per-view sucks because Adam Cole showed up and I thought he was going to be a face, but he's a heel, to all of a sudden, holy shit, they pulled a fast one on me and I fell for it. God damn it, these guys are geniuses. Daniel Bryan walks out, and I'm just like, holy shit, this changes everything. It changed the landscape of the show. It's like Hogan showing up in WCW back in the day. That was the moment for me.
I wouldn't compare the two because I actually think Punk is a bigger star. Punk and Bryan are bigger stars than Hogan was then.
Cole.
And also,
I agree.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I think probably Punk and Daniel Bryan would out wrestle Hulk Hogan even on his best day.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell!
100%,
Santino Marella could out wrestle Hogan on his best day.
Yeah. The thing is,
Hogan
had
can't
the
wrestle for
charisma
fucking two shits.
and the look. Hogan had the charisma and the look, and that's what got him through his career.
Pretty
And
much, unless you listen to Hogan, Hogan's lies, which Hogan has said that he was considering jumping to. He was fighting Bellator fighters in the 70s.
Yeah, and I don't blame him.
Which, by the way, anybody
that
knows anything about mixed martial arts are probably laughing their ass off right now, since mixed martial arts wasn't around in the 70s.
Yeah, and I don't blame either of them. But what I will say is that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk both showing up on the pay-per-view would make me jump ship. If I were a wrestler
I said it
in modern day WWE, Bryan and Punk both showing up at the same pay-per-view, the biggest pay-per-view of the year for AEW, would make me consider jumping ship, because those two are probably the two biggest names in wrestling today.
Oh yeah, I said it after I watched the Dynamite and Rampage after Punk showed up. I'm like, okay, this is meh, but if I'll give it another shot if Bryan shows up, and I'll give it another shot when if Bray Wyatt shows up, and then Bryan shows up like the fucking. Because the go home show for All Out was fucking shit. I was like, this is fucking trash. And then the pay per view shows up and fucking Bryan shows up. Or I thought it was or I wasn't really paying attention paying attention to the go home show. I was just like, well, some of these matches are great, but some of it is just a fucking bore. And then the pay per view and Bryan shows up, and I'm like, damn. I was about to give him a fucking break.
Yep.
But luckily, the Dynamite after actually was pretty fucking good. I was like, hot damn.
Yeah.
I will say though, there is one thing I do appreciate though right now. Storylines going into the AEW, we got freaking Punk going against Team Taz.
All right.
Survive if I let you. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay,
oh yeah. Team Taz is probably one of the best fucking commentators slash fucking managers right now.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you that one.
I would sit there. I believe it was that Dynamite after that. It was just fucking JR and Taz, and fucking dipshit with a mask was not there.
Excalibur.
Whatever his name is.
The fact that I still know his name and you don't.
I know his name. I just don't respect the fucking ass. But it was just those two. It was just Taz and JR. Holy shit, was that such a refreshing show. I was just like, wow. This show sounds professional.
I will say real quick, All Elite Wrestling, I'll tune into that more frequently if I can. More than WWE, SmackDown, or Raw. Like, SmackDown will get my attention sometimes, then Raw is just like, nah,
that's me.
Fuck off.
That's me right now too. It's like, and by the way, for anybody that has knows me, I have been very critical of AEW. I am far from a AEW mark. but I actually watch AEW more now than I do the WWE. Because the one show that I actually do that was pretty much a wrestling territory show is now gone and has become late 80s, early 90s WWF, which is NXT 2.0. And the best thing on that fucking show is Rex Steiner.
Or as he called himself, Braun Breaker. Like, ugh.
No, that's their name. He wanted to be called Rex Steiner.
But they don't want to keep the Steiner name.
No, because they want a name that they can market. That they don't have to.
You can't market Steiner.
No, because Rick and Scott own it.
I'm not even gonna get into an argument about that because I'm like,
Rick and Scott own the fucking name, and Scott Steiner hates WWE's fucking guts. That's why he can't use. That's why he's not using the Steiner name.
Okay, let me ask you something real quick. This is me looking at all champions that we know of. Like, let's say AEW, Impact, and then the WWE itself. This is the companies we all know the best. Which champ do you think is the best out of them all? Let's say, because I can tell you right now, the one I don't like the most is, okay, like show-wise, I'll say this real quick. Raw, I just can't get into it because goddamn Charlotte.
Yeah,
I would say I don't care.
I would say Jacob Fatu and MLW, but I have not seen enough. I have not seen enough of that. I have not seen enough of that to say anything. I would say Bandero in Ring of Honor as the world champion, but I have not seen enough of that. I think Kenny Omega is overrated. I honestly think the best champion right now is Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think probably the second one would probably be then Big E, as much as I like to think of it. Because Big E's at least Big E, he's got the fan support on his side.
Oh yeah.
I will say this: when I watched that one, what pay-per-view was their last one? Extreme Rules.
I think it was Extreme Rules. Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah. When I saw that he was the champion, I was happy beyond belief.
Like, I actually did tune into Raw to see that cash in. I was like, there is no freaking way they're gonna give him the title because it's like they're gonna have him do the same thing that Nikki did and just cash in. It was either gonna not work or it was gonna fail miserably.
I've been a fan of the New Day, like all three of them, from pretty much the second they turned faces.
Same.
I normally don't like the heels. I'm gonna say this right now. I'll tell everybody right here, right now. I'm one of those guys. I like to pretend that it's real, even though I know it's fake. I love to pretend that it's real, and I love rooting for the good guys or the baby faces. That's just how I am. I always root for the baby faces.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There has been wrestling exposing the wrestling business fucking stuff out there since back in the fucking 1910s and 1920s. People have known wrestling has been scripted for the longest fucking time. It's just wrestling back then still treated itself serious, so people could get lost in it. So there's no issue with just trying to lose yourself in something that you're supposed to get lost in.
Right. So I try to lose myself in it. I always root for the good guys over the bad guys. Right. So the second the new Day turned to the good guy side of the wrestling force or whatever you want to call it, right? I call it the Force. I'm using Star Wars terminology here, okay? But the second that the New Day
in honor of the remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, the second the New Day turned to the bright side or the right side of the Force, where they were the good guys, I've been in their corner and I've been rooting for them from that day forward. I've always been a New Day fan. Even
Same. I've
back
been a
in
New
the
Day fan
old,
since they debuted, because
right?
I actually liked the freaking the freaking clapping
Overly
happy shit.
churchy,
It was a
overly
breath of
churchy,
fresh air.
happy.
It wasn't somebody having a mean scowl saying I'm gonna kill you dead.
Right, they were the overly churchy bad guys at the time when they first debuted, and when they turned good,
In a way, kind of churchy, and then they went their own direction.
they were churchy at first, though. They were
Oh,
super churchy.
I didn't say they weren't.
They were the they were the
they
chantry.
they were
Okay,
churchy
they were
without saying it. They were churchy without
they
saying
were
it.
they were the black chantry. Let's be fair here. All right, Dragon Age reference for anybody who knows Dragon Age stuff. They were the black chantry. Anyway, when when they turned face, when they turned face, when they turned good guy, when they were on the good, when they went to the good side, and they started doing all that goofy shit, they became one of my favorite groups in
Uh-huh.
WWE at the time.
Oh yeah,
And
even though when they started the pancake shit, that's when it got a little bit much.
no, even then when I was fine with them, I was fine with that. That was cool. You know, in my opinion, it was cool. It was goofy
Oh
as hell,
yeah,
but it was cool.
oh yeah.
I was
For
totally
me,
down for it.
I thought it was jumping the shark a little bit, but that's just me.
I am down for the overly goofy shit like that because I need an escape from my day. My day is way too serious, so
Oh
I
yeah.
need that comedy release, and that's what I love about the New Day. And
And that's a
in
little
the
bit opposite
old,
of me. My
right,
day is overly goofy, so I like to so that's why I liked NXT the most because back in the day because it was a fucking serious wrestling show.
right, and I need that too. I do need that too. Don't get me wrong. I need the serious wrestling shows, but at the same time, I need that overly goofy, over the top stuff, and that's what the New Day has always
Oh
provided
yeah.
moving forward. And in WWE 2K16, I decided to do some Sims, or it may have been 17. I don't remember which one it was. But one of the older games. I was doing Sims in Universe and just seeing what would happen, and I ended up having a New Day feud between all three of them. They never broke up as a tag team. This was the coolest part of it. They never broke up as a tag team, but all three members traded the titles multiple times over a 5-year simulated period. They never dropped it to anybody else. It went from Big E to Kofi to Xavier, and they just kept trading the damn titles, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So, when Kofi won the title a few years back, I went ballistic. When he won it in real life, I went ballistic because I was probably the happiest man on the earth because
Oh
the New
yeah.
Day finally had a world title. And then
Hell when Kofi won, that's what brought Bobby Lashley back, and that's what brought MVP back.
right. And then to top it all off, going in and watching WWE this last pay-per-view and seeing Big E with that world title was, I'm gonna say, almost the icing on the cake. And the reason I'm saying that is because in that Universe Sim years ago, the one member of the New Day that held that belt more than anybody else was actually Xavier Woods.
Sadly, in the real world, I don't think Xavier's getting that opportunity.
Unfortunately.
I understand that, and I am very saddened by it
I am
because
too because I've been watching Xavier Woods ever since back in the TNA days when he was Consequences Creed. And
see,
I've actually liked him. I've actually liked him ever since then. He's a pretty damn good wrestler.
well,
He's definitely not the shits.
yeah,
There's people better than him, but there's also but he's also he's in that perfect spot of being good, enough for big matches, but he's just not up there as a great competitor.
And what other people don't realize is he's also a huge wrestling nerd, and he has designed by himself in GIMP all of the New Day's attires that
Oh,
they've
yeah.
used so far. Up
Oh
to
yeah,
this
he does
date,
them all.
he does all of their attires. I would love to see him as a world champion.
You're not world champion at the very least. I just want to see him at least win the Intercontinental title at the very least.
Yeah, he hasn't won a championship besides the fucking besides
Tag
the
and it's
The
a shame.
tag titles.
yeah besides the tag titles.
It is a shame. I would love to see Xavier Woods with the world title, and if he
I would love
won
to see him with the
title,
Intercontinental or the United States title.
screw that. I want to see him with the WWE Championship.
Oh yeah,
That's what I want to see.
yeah
I want to
that'd
see
be great.
the Xavier Woods that I witnessed in my WWE 2K17 universe for the 5-year sim. He was the winningest member of the New Day in my sim. I have to say, those guys, they literally held the titles for 5 years over a 5-year sim. That's what I do every year, by the way. I do a 5-year sim. There was one year I did a 5-year sim, and it was constantly between Cody and Dolph Ziggler. Of all the guys that could have won the title, it was those two, Cody and Ziggler, every single time. I would posit at WrestleMania it would be Kofi versus Ziggler. And this is setting up universe so that everybody was included. All legends, all characters, every character that was an in-game character that they put in the game is included in the universe. Whenever I do these 5-year sims, I always stop at WrestleMania, and then I always look at the titles and whatnot. It would always be between either Cody and Ziggler or all of the New Day. And then in the newer games I did it, and you go to NXT, and I think Oz has seen this. Frickin' Pete Dunne is a beast. That's all I'm gonna say.
I remember that. Pete Dunne
like,
fucking gosh dang held that belt for fucking gosh dang longer than Walter did in real life.
He held the NXT World Championship. They go one time.
It was like 10 years or something.
10 years, yeah. He held the belt. He
held it longer than fucking gosh dang Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, Pete Dunne would not drop the belt. He was just like, fuck this, the belt's mine. I'm the world champion. I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? I go to NXT UK champion, Pete Dunne, 12 years. It's like, okay.
It's like he didn't like I was being booked in real life, so his in-game counterpart just went,
Yeah, he just went, fuck it. I'm the world champ. No one's gonna beat me, and no one touched him for 12 years.
Damn.
That was the best. That was the absolute best.
And there was no Walter in the game to stop him.
Nope, we're not going anywhere near him.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I even threw Delvin at him at one point, thinking, okay, Delvin can beat him.
I remember that. You threw Delvin at him. Delvin took the belt from him, and then he instantly got the fucking thing back.
Yep.
It was like Pete Dunne's like, all right, yeah, you had your time with it. Give it back.
Yeah, you see Pete Dunne, NXT UK champion, right? And then you see Delvin McLeod, like 4 weeks, and that's it. He held the belt from one pay-per-view to the next, and then he dropped it, and Pete had the belt for the rest of the time. It's like, well, now Pete's a 2-time champion, and he's held the belt for well over 10 years. Okay, well, I threw the Mighty Mouse at him, and the damn stubborn man decided to never drop the belt ever.
Speaking of the UK Championship, if WWE doesn't find a way to convince Walter to do something with them outside UK, and he ends up leaving the company, if AEW can't find a way to fucking get him, then both those fucking companies are stupid asses.
I was gonna say, if WWE isn't smart, they're gonna lose him to AEW.
Uh, the problem is AEW would have to try to convince him to actually get out of the UK.
Yeah, good point.
That's the one problem with Walter. Walter right now it has to be convinced to get out of the UK because he wants to stay. And that's what WWE has been trying to do.
Well, on that thought, I don't blame Walter because, in all honesty, as far as health systems go, the UK destroys us. They destroy Canada, they destroy the US, and they destroy Mexico. As far as their health system is concerned, and with COVID, that kind of made it
I could see that, but
reality.
I could see that, but I think he's more. But I think he's more probably. I don't know, but I think he's probably more looking at it from a standpoint of career.
Yeah, that too.
That he'd rather stay and continue doing the things that he likes to do, which is wrestling, rather than go somewhere and have someone make him look like a joke.
True. He could probably make
because
more
he's
money
the best
on
fucking
the
big man
main
going right now.
Yeah, he could probably make more money on the main roster, but if he's making a decent amount, I don't blame him for not wanting to change.
I mean, fucking hell. Shinsuke Nakamura even said that he was making more money on on his merchandise in NXT than his paycheck may be bigger on the main roster, but he was getting more money from his merchandise sales in NXT than he ever has on the main roster.
I don't blame
And that his
him
merchandise sales in NXT dwarf his actual roster paycheck.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
None of us do.
That's how big NXT was at one point. It's like people were making fucking hand over fist.
And then they decided that it would be a good idea to, I don't know. But, yeah.
Well, a lot of things happened. First off,
Yeah.
Fox wanted NXT because Fox wanted a serious wrestling promotion, and they were looking at NXT because they liked NXT's look and they really wanted it.
Then they got SmackDown.
And Vince talk because Vince can talk someone from Alaska to buy snow.
Yeah.
Vince can sell snow to an Eskimo, and Vince was able to convince Fox to take SmackDown instead.
Yeah.
And USA got NXT.
Which is weird.
And because of money, like Nick Khan said, because I don't believe he was kidding. I truly believe if it was up to Nick Khan, Raw would be 4 hours and SmackDown would be 3. Not because of quality, but because it would give them more money.
I would prefer they didn't do that because I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours trying to watch Raw or 3 hours to watch SmackDown.
I know that's why because of people's reaction. That's when Nick Khan said he was kidding. That's why I do not believe he was kidding.
Would this surprise you? Would this surprise you about their competitor? That after a few botched pay-per-views and some stuff not going over very well with the fans, that Tony decided to take the reins and is now running everything?
Apparently Tony has been in charge for a long fucking time at this point.
Yeah. At this point, yes.
Apparently he's been in charge for quite some damn time. It's just everybody has believed that the EVPs have had more power than they have, all because of what the Bucks did to FTR.
Right.
The Bucks fucking fucked over FTR and because they're a fucking petty ass two fucking motherfuckers.
And
So
now,
so everyone thought that they were still in charge, and Tony pretty much just said, "No, I've been in fucking charge. I took that
yeah,
reins fucking months ago."
I took the reins a while ago, and now I'm running the show. You know, it takes a. I have to say this. I give him credit. It takes a true leader to actually step up and say, "No, I've been the one in charge for X amount of time.
Yeah,
It's not on them anymore. This isn't their playground anymore.
yeah.
This is the Tony show."
And the one thing
And
with
I give him
with
credit
Tony
for that.
Khan, I will say this: the man may be the second nicest guy in the second nicest guy to ever be in the wrestling business,
Yeah.
next to McFoley, because the damn man won't say fucking no. The damn man will keep his fucking roster this fucking big and this fucking just bloated. And at some point when he starts really hiring guys, he's gonna get in fucking big time trouble.
Yep.
The one thing Tony Khan needs to learn is that you're not going to be able to please everybody, and you're gonna have to say no to some people, even if they're your fucking EVPs. You're gonna have to say no to them and say, no, you're doing the job to this guy tonight, and they're taking the belts, and that's that.
Hence what I said earlier on the show when I didn't have my mic in, which was the whole creative freedom part, which was when we watched the pay-per-view. Even my friend who doesn't follow wrestling at all saw the pay-per-view, the AEW pay-per-view, saw it and said, you know, I feel like they're giving the guys too much creative freedom.
Yeah.
He may be behind the reins, but he is still giving the guys too much freedom. He needs to restrict it a little bit more.
Yeah, and the one thing he has to do, he has to take QT Marshall off fucking making these fucking cards.
See, I didn't realize that guy was making the cards, and two, I think that Khan himself should be the one making all the cards, or at least approving them. And he needs to take a critical eye and look at ratings as far as when.
Look
at the cards and look at the ratings. I know you have the ability to do it. Look at the cards. Look at when people are tuning in, and figure out what the best formula is.
Yeah.
And don't look at the spikes of people just changing channels, because you don't want someone who's changing it for 5 minutes and who changes it after that. Look for the people who tune in and who stay there for a long time. The ones who tune in and stay there for a long time are the ones that are going to give you the message that you need to receive.
Yeah, and please, for heavenly Lord, do not listen to Dave Meltzer and do not listen to the fucking demos. The demos have just become a fucking buzzword at this point.
I don't even watch those. I never bought into all the Meltzer hype, to be honest.
I haven't either, and a lot of other people have started to realize this fucking stupidity too.
I had a friend who told me about Meltzer a while back. So I decided to watch some of the matches that he rated as 5 stars. And I got bored with them.
Oh yeah, because Meltzer's is a Japanese guy.
Yeah, I got bored with some of the matches that he rated at 5 stars. And that kind of got me to realize, Meltzer's not the end-all be-all. Just because he says something is 5 stars doesn't mean it's always 5 stars. And I just kind of
for some people, they may like the Young Bucks matches, but honestly, for me, they're the same fucking match every time, and I get bored with them quickly.
Yeah, and I I kind of did the whole, like, I know Meltzer is God for a lot of people, but for me, he's not. For me,
Yeah,
what
same
makes a
here.
good
He ain't,
wrestling
for me
match,
either.
what
The
he
one thing
says
I'll
makes
the
a
one
good
thing I'll say
wrestling match
for
does not resonate with me.
yeah the one thing I'll say for Tony Khan is that man needs to have somebody like Jr. by his side. Anybody else he can get that has a booking mind. Hell, if he could fucking get Kevin Sullivan to come back to the fucking wrestling business and try to do something and try to be in his ear and help him out a little bit to teach him some of this shit, then fucking have him then do so.
Even
Get some of
after
the
Dark
fucking
Side of the
biggest
Ring
wrestling
tried to
minds
bury
in the
his
wrestling
ass.
business by his fucking side and keep these EVPs and everybody else out of his ear.
I will say that I hope that he would get Sullivan on his side, because Dark Side of the Ring tried to bury his ass with the other shit. With
Oh,
the Benoit stuff.
not really, because because they actually asked Kevin Sullivan to be a part of it. Kevin Sullivan just didn't answer because he thought it was good. He thought it was because he didn't want to talk about the Benoit thing again, and he thought it was going to be a hit piece.
Oh, okay.
He actually
You know what?
he actually did an interview with Corny with Cornette afterwards, and that's pretty much what he said. He said if I actually knew that they were actually doing something legitimate, I actually would have been a part of it.
Yeah, I don't blame him then, because I mean they made him seem like the freaking devil. I watched the episode. I watched the Benoit episodes, and they made Sullivan seem like the devil, and I was like, man, they didn't even give the guy a chance to talk.
Well, because he turned him down.
Yeah, but I mean, I see why now. I'll be right back.
All right.
Samurai, take
All
over.
Okay. Don't know what to talk about, so.
I would say
Yeah,
what
the
Vince
background
I would
Tucker's
say
just-
what Vince needs to do, but at this point that may be a fucking lost cause.
At this point, until I try to tell you what Vince needs to do, I think he would need to look at everything and fix it.
There are not enough wrestling minds in the fucking world. You could resurrect Eddie Graham, and Eddie Graham would look at the modern day WWE and say, "Nope, I can't fix that shit."
I think the best way you could do it is more just, like, at the very least, like, try to put more focus on the younger talent and maybe have, some of the older stars, put them over. For example, Charlotte. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the problem
but you
is
do not
Charlotte
need to
is
make
one
her
of
the
the
next Ric
Charlotte
Flair.
is one of the young stars.
Well, the thing is, she's been basically
But the problem is they're now with Johnny Ace around, the only people that are getting longer matches is fucking Charlotte and them.
they're the ones that are actually getting the big push and the big star.
Yeah,
the star push
because
anyone linked with
as it's been stated that for like SmackDown and Raw and shit, the women's matches are lasting like fucking a minute and a half.
it's like, why chop them?
For those that did not watch back in the day, that was the women's division in 2008 when Johnny Ace was in charge. I want everyone to duly note that Johnny Ace is the head of talent relations, that signed the wrong one-legged man. Johnny Ace, the man that got all of the divas out of a modeling catalog. That's who is currently back in charge of talent relations. And back then they were doing 1 minute, 2 minute matches, all women's matches. I don't like the Bellas, but even the Bellas were saying, "What the hell is this? Is this 2008?" It's like everything that they quote did for the business never happened. Like I said, agree, nor do I like those two fuckers. But if they can even see this, then then fucking Mr. Magoo could see that this is that something's off here.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Tony Storm is jobbing out to people like fucking Carmella in Selena Vega. I like Selena Vega, but I'm sorry, but the only reason Selena Vega is getting anywhere right now that she is because she has openly said that she would try to unionize wrestling.
They're just trying to shut her up.
Yes, that is why. They're just trying to shut her up. The reason Vince quote exposed the wrestling business back in the 80s is because he didn't want to deal with the state athletic commission. Wrestling has already had been exposed long before that. People are not stupid. Wrestling has been known as scripted for a long time. It's just no one had any true information to prove that. And no one really cared because wrestling treated them with respect as fans. Vince did it so Vince can not have to deal with the state athletic commission, because the state athletic commission was having them actually use the proper equipment. They wanted to use their own equipment that was cheaper and was easier to buy. And the state athletic commission was giving them headaches. That's why Vince, quote, exposed the wrestling business. Vince didn't do it to expand the wrestling business. Vince did it for his own personal gain. Vince did it to save money.
I'm sorry, that's just... I'm not even to say that's bullshit, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, it makes sense, but I'm like... You don't need to chop every single cent you can get. Sometimes getting that little extra might actually help you out in the long run.
Yeah. But that's... wrestling companies have been dealing with the state athletic commission for years, and they dealt with it. Sometimes some people of the state athletic commission were lenient because they were actually wrestling guys, and and some of them were former wrestlers, so they were lenient on them. Some people of that were not, and they were more harder on them. But it was still a necessary evil for the wrestling business to be a fucking sport.
They treat it like a sport, since technically they are putting their bodies on the line.
Yeah, and Vince only did that for his own personal gain, so he could sneak some more not qualified stuff back behind the scenes that no one would have seen, but stuff that they had been using for years, that were cheaper, easier to buy, that they didn't have to work with. They didn't have to fuck with the proper shit.
And the only thing with, like, the thing I hate is the fact that, like you mentioned earlier with the whole thing with the women's division, like the whole like the match being shorter and like the only ones that are actually getting anything good. But it's also the fact that out of every woman that's on that roster, the one that's protected the most is Charlotte. It's more the fact that they're just keep hot-shotting freaking belts onto her.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, they're just trying to make her the next Ric Flair. I'm like, you don't have to do that.
Well, they've been trying to do that for years, but she would have gotten even closer, but they took away all of her NXT title runs. If you notice. They do not count any of her NXT title runs anymore.
I wonder why.
Because Bruce Pritchard's in Vince's ear. That's one thing. So many people blame Vince. Guys, do not blame Vince. As I said earlier, back in the 80s and 90s, wrestlers could just go up to Vince and say, Vince, this fucking sucks. And Vince would sit there and say, all right, pal, what do you want to do instead? And they would work with something to get it done. Vince was engaged with his roster. Even though you may not agree with some of the things that the WWE has done, that's what made the WWE flow a lot smoother in a lot of cases. Because people could just come up to Vince and say, Vince, this sucks. You could talk to anybody. There are people that have been in this company, that have been in WWE, that have not talked to Vince once, even when they got hired. Nobody talks to Vince. The only people that talk to Vince are Bruce, Kevin Dunn, Nick Khan, and Johnny Ace. That's it. And Bruce Pritchard is the one that openly defends the gobbledygooker as a good gimmick. He's the one that openly defends the Red Rooster as a good gimmick.
That's two strikes against you. Is there gonna be a third swing and a miss?
Yes, there is, because Bruce Pritchard has worked for Impact Wrestling and has worked for MLW, and when he left, some people baked a cake and nobody cried. Anybody that's ever talked about Bruce Pritchard say that he is out of touch.
I could tell you he's out of touch a long ass time ago, and I just walked back into this conversation. I heard Bruce Pritchard is out of touch. You watch NXT and you can tell that man is out of touch. Oh my god!
It feels like 80s and early 90s WWF. It feels like
NXT puts me to sleep. That's how bad it is.
Yes.
It used to be good.
Yes, it was.
NXT.
NXT was a modern day territorial wrestling company. It's not anymore.
NXT right now is worse than Community Creations in WWE 2K20.
NXT 2.0 is worse than the starting episodes of AEW.
I think I commented that I watched an episode of NXT lately, and
you lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah, I turned it off and went to bed.
NXT 2.0 is worse than the worst of TNA.
NXT 2.0 is worse than Community Creations WWE 2K20.
You already said that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just driving that point home. Like, anybody who's played 20 knows Community Creations, and it sucks. Unless they're playing on PC.
Let me put it this way. Old NXT Oh yeah, old NXT is WWE 2K19. We have spent 3 years on this fucking game, and we have made everything in this game work, and we have done, and we have put out some of the best shit. NXT put out some of the best shit back then. Modern NXT, NXT 2.0 is WWE 2K20.
It's worse. It's worse than 20.
Okay. NXT 2.0 is the TNA Impact video game.
Yes, there we go. Yes, that's
to put this into fucking perspective. And if you're a Fallout fan, let me further put this into perspective. The original NXT was Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. NXT 2.0 is the Brotherhood
76?
is Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh God! Hey!
I was gonna say Fallout 76. Because
Leave
I
the
don't play the
Brotherhood
game,
of
but I know
Steel
you.
Not
I know
the
you.
not the faction, not the
openly
faction.
hated
There's
it.
not the faction. There's a game. There's an actual game called Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, and it's
Oh,
one of the
you're
worst.
talking about the shitty ass
Yes,
game.
and it's
Never
one of the
mind.
worst
Okay.
Fallout games ever created.
That that I will. Then I will. Okay, but
It
you need
it
to
actually
say it's
is the
game.
worst
I'm
Fallout game
sorry.
ever created because it killed the original studio.
Yeah, you have to say it's the game, not the actual faction. I was gonna say the faction. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Not the
but
faction, not the
game, yeah,
faction,
you're
not the
right.
I will
faction.
say
The
real
game,
quick, I do.
the game. Fallout
Okay,
fans know what I'm
The
talking
game
about.
sucks.
I know what.
The game
I
sucks.
kind of know what you're talking about because I only played like Fallout 3, 4, and New Vegas to some degree for each.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna say Fallout 76 because that's the one I knew that you've talked about the most. I think you
Oh,
actually hate it because
76?
But-
Nah, 76 is a fucking masterpiece compared to Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
But I will say, as far as like Bethesda is concerned, the Bethesda Fallout games have been superb. Same thing with Skyrim and.
Skyrim's great.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Skyrim, I have a VR treadmill that is just waiting for me to jump in, and play some High Rothgar gameplay in VR. So the second I have a chance, Skyrim VR will be happening.
Hell yeah.
I'm tempted to jump alongside you because I to do like a modded playthrough at
Yeah, and
some point.
Skyrim
No.
fucking Anniversary
Fallout.
Edition is coming out this year.
No cheap plug intended, but
Cheap
I
plug
will
fucking
be
Cheap
what?
plug
playing.
was made.
Cheap plug is made. Alright, I will be playing Skyrim VR on my Twitch channel, on my VR treadmill, until Extra Life comes up. I am really, really pushing right now for Extra Life.
Plug away.
Um,
I'm taking a piss.
I
I have
haven't
to
had
be
a
right back
chance.
because my
Alright.
dog's bugging me right now. So give me a minute.
Alright, cool. So I'm the solo guy. Sweet. Hi everybody, I'm Beetleborgs. I am hijacking this show for a little bit because Samurai and Odds had to take off and take a piss and do whatever they needed to do. I've got Extra Life coming up, so check me out. Hashtag Beetleborgs. You guys can look me up on YouTube. It's BeetleBorgz. I will be doing some Skyrim content coming up soon. As far as WWE 2K20 is concerned, I may try and do a tournament or two on there as well in my free time. Free time is the key though, because I'm working like 6 hours a day right now. Or, I mean, not 6 hours a day, that's stupid. I'm working 9 to 10 hours a day, and I'm working anywhere between 5 to 6 days a week right now. So finding actual time to do these streams is going to be a hard thing for me to do, but I will try to do my best. I'm gonna start doing more Pokemon streams. I know Odds knows about those. So more Pokemon streams coming up soon. I will be going back. I'm gonna restart in Pokemon Sword and Shield and play through from the beginning to the end in stream form.
Hell yeah.
Also coming up, Skyrim VR. So you'll get to see what I'm experiencing from my VR headset as I'm playing on Twitch.
Welcome back,
I
Monk.
will not be responding. Welcome back, Monk. Welcome back. Why hasn't that refreshed yet? Oh, there it is. Waka 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 LMAO. I'm having a good time. I'm
sounds
having
like
a
you're
real
drunk.
good time right now. Who? Me? First time in like 4 months, but yeah.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've been holding.
Sorry, man.
I was holding that fucking piss for like an hour.
I can't hold my Enderal. That's why I left 3 times in the last hour. Anyway, Extra Life, I will be playing Skyrim VR, I will be playing
You've said that like 3 fucking
Pokemon.
times.
I know, I'm covering right now, waiting for you to get back. And this
I'm already
extra,
back,
extra
motherfucker!
long precise speaks. I know. I heard you
Fucking
get back
drug
and you
beetle,
were letting
oh
me go, and I appreciate it.
no!
Oh no! Drunk beetle! Oh no!
Insert that clip from
All
Trolls
we need-
insert that clip from Trolls 2. Oh my gosh!
All we need in here is, oh Captain, my Captain, we are waiting for you, sir. We really are. It has been a long ass time, and I would
Monk,
love
get your
to talk
fucking
to
ass
you.
in here, motherfucker!
Yes, I would love to talk to you because it has been way too long, and I hope everything's good, man. I'm sorry I haven't been on. I'm really, really sorry. It's just I've been so busy lately. I've been working probably 60 hours a week. I've been at the gym the other 5 hours, and the only free time I have is to cook. So, man, I swear to God, or bro, I swear to God, get in here when you can. It would be awesome to talk to you.
Yeah,
Static,
that'd be
static and
great.
all. I'm gonna say your name 3 times. Monk, 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 monk.
He ain't fucking Beetlejuice.
I know he's not Beetlejuice or Bloody Mary, but I'm just saying his name 3 times.
Why you have to do that shit?
It's all good, man. It's all good.
But the sad thing is they're making a fucking remake of a fucking gosh dang Beetlejuice at some point, and I'm fucking sad.
No.
One of the
please,
Beetlejuice was one of the only fucking PG movies that you heard the word fuck.
Well, when this show ends, when this show is over, I am going to have Mika put her world title on the line.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I just feel like having Mika put her world title on the line in a tournament.
Which that means the show might as well fucking end because we have exhausted all topics because honestly there's not much to talk about it when it comes to the wrestling business, and what we have talked about is the only fucking shit that there is.
We don't like.
Yeah.
We've said the pluses of
I'm gonna
AEW.
say this real
We've
quick.
said the pluses and the negatives of AEW. We've said the pluses and the negatives of WWE. We've talked about MLW a little bit, Ring of Honor, what there is
Also,
of
can I say this real
TNA.
quick? Can I just say this real quick? Malachi Black, one of the best things going in AEW. That's not Punk or Daniel Bryan.
I can actually say that because he actually is pretty damn good. I just wish Aleister Black had a better fucking Cody fucking feud than whatever the fucking hell this is.
It's that bad? Damn!
It's all fucking Cody's shit. Cody's not trying to be in the wrestling business. Cody's trying to be a fucking television star because now he has his own fucking reality show, Roads to the Top, or Roads to a fucking nap. Because heaven forbid, I'd rather watch Total Divas than Roads to the Top.
No way! Oh, here's the worst one. Watch Ms. and Mrs.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Ms. and Mrs. than Roads to the Top.
Hey, hold on. At least Ms. and Mrs. has Maurice.
That's why I would watch
Enough
it. Maurice
said.
is a bigger star than Cody ever will be.
I know. Monk will agree with me. At least Ms. and Mrs. has Maurice.
And Maurice has charisma, and Maurice has charisma as enough charisma for the both of them.
Damn.
Well, with that line being said,
We're out of here.
more Chris Knight speaks to come. More Chris Knight speaks to come. As
All
time
right.
goes on, I will get to these as fast as humanly possible. I have to get a fucking topic for the next one, but or a guest interview or whatever. But with that being said, I'm against Saws 20. Remember to keep a snapback handy, and as always, ad Victorium. Chris Knight
All right.
Speaks is done. We are out of here. This stream is done.